Hi everyone, welcome back to another exciting CCTheater tutorial. Today's tutorial is all about pre-formatted or columnar captions. So imagine you're putting on a musical and the dialogue is maybe very fast-paced, and in any number of scenes there are multiple groups speaking over each other, maybe even singing over each other with their lines interspersed very carefully by the playwright. Uh, for instance, maybe it's a performance of Into the Woods, and Into the Woods was very much like that, very fast-paced, multiple groups uh, with interleaved song lyrics and people speaking over each other all the time. Very challenging to provide captions. And there are a few things that CCTheater will provide in the way of script commands to help you through that. So I'm just going to go over a couple of them. And here we go. So let's look. Once again, in the top left quadrant, we have CCTheater with a sample script already loaded. Down below, bottom left, we've got a browser that's pointing back to that. And on the right-hand side, we've got Notepad just opened up. It's a text editor with the sample script open. So here's the first sample. Here are three groups of people who are singing alongside each other with the lyrics interleaved. And you can see that we've got the groups, the speaker IDs, group 1, group 2, group 3. And we've arranged their lyrics in a columnar format. That is to say, we've put spaces in and lined it up visually so that it looks right. Now, you can do that in a text editor, but CCTheater generally strips out multiple contiguous spaces. It's not really CCTheater that's stripping it out so much as the web browsers ignore them. So if you're trying to put in multiple spaces, it's pretty difficult. Can be done, but it's difficult. But there is a way around this, and CCTheater script command called preformat, so pound preformat, allows you to embed multiple spaces, and those will be preserved in between text. So instead of collapsing all of these spaces into one space like a browser normally does, these will all be preserved. And so we're going to do this using pop-up style, so pound pop. You may remember that the default text alignment for a pop-up caption is centered, but we want to shove everything to the left because these lines are not all the same length. And if we center the lines, they're not going to line up. So we'll shove everything to the left. And as long as everything starts in the left-hand margin, then they'll line up just the way you've created them visually. So it's pound pop. We make it a left justified. So that's a shortcut for pound text align equals left. Down here, I've set pound text align to default when we go back to the default for pop-up. But here it's pound left for text align. There's the preformat command. And I have already figured out that I've got to squeeze the size down to a 24 pixel font size in order to fit these very long lines into the tablet that I'm intending to use for displaying the captions at the seats. So let's go ahead and send that caption out and see what it looks like. Oh, look at that. It's perfectly lined up. In fact, it looks more or less the way I've lined it up in the text editor. That's what you see in the screen. So here are the speaker IDs. I centered them. You can see back here in the text file, I centered them over their respective sets of lines. And then the lines come out just the way we told them to. And just as a reminder, this caret character is what you can use to put a musical note in that place. So we've got musical notes sprinkled. Here we are back in the browser. There's a musical note over here at the beginning and at the end of every uh, set of dialogue for each group, set of lyrics. So here they are. And so that's how you can get columnar formatted, pre-formatted captions out on the screen. Now, I'm going to go on to the next caption. So I'm going to get the next caption out. Here it comes. Okay, so we're back to normal pop-up captions. How did we do that? Well, I had to tell CCTheater to make the text alignment back to the default, which for pop-on is center. I could have just said pound center here, and that would have been the same thing. But instead, I'm relying on the settings, the CCTheater settings, which are under the tools options. And the default for pop is center. I can show you that. Here it comes. Options. And if I go to text style, is that where it is? Yeah. So alignment for pop on, the default is center. You can see it right here. For roll up, the default is left. So for this caption, whoops, sorry, had to explicitly set the alignment back to the default or left. I could have just as well said pound left. And then we've got a multi-line, multi-speaker pop-on caption. So look at it back here in the browser. We've got the narrator speaking, and then we have a little sort of comment that later on Cinderella speaks, then the narrator. And so here's something interesting. You see blank lines in between each of these snippets. Well, you'll recall that normally in CCTheater, a caption block is delineated by a blank line. So if you want to gate out a caption in pop-on style, you'll gate out from the file everything that is typed in there up to the next blank line. So you can see here that there are blank lines in between this caption block and this caption block. We have blank lines. That's how CCTheater knows that these are two different caption blocks. Here, I can't leave a blank line here because CCTheater will think that that's just going on to the next caption block. But we want these to come out all as one block. So I'm using the special markup less than, greater than, with the word line in between for a blank line. And so if I have line there, that takes up and it's ignored, and CCTheater puts out a blank line. Here we have another instance of a blank line, and yet a third one. And here we see them. CCTheater put out a blank line and a blank line and a blank line. And again, here are the musical notes. We see those back in the script. Here they are. Caret, up caret. That's on a shift 6. And so that's it. That's how you can deal with multi-column captions and multiple speakers on screen at the same time. And this is very useful for fast-paced dialogue, musicals, and the like. Thanks for listening. Hope this has been helpful. See you next time.